I'm doing an experiment. In a way, everything's an experiment or a practice. Anyway, I go by humanistsum at humanistsum.org, and I'm working on my recovery from, well, I still have it, chronic pain, just every day working. So there's this rail trail in the city where I'm currently living, which I'm not familiar. I don't normally live here, and I don't have the stamina to get from like one entry to the next. So instead of just doing the same small amount over and over and over again, I'm doing like little bits at a time to get an idea of what it would be like if I did the whole thing. And so I started at a park that links to a spur that goes into downtown that I did on a previous stream. And I'm going to link up with a spot that I walked to on another previous stream, but I'm surprised slash disappointed that the spur doesn't connect. Oops. So it's an experiment in terms of I don't know where I'm going. It's an experiment in terms of I don't know how this microphone is going to do. And it's an experiment in terms of I turned off chat. So I'm noticing they're not funneling people in here, which is fine. Although I did learn something from a heckler this morning, which is, maybe don't complain so much. But at the same time, I also learned from complaining, and this is my therapy. So, but we're talking about complaining. It's energy draining. I don't have a lot to say on that topic, or rather, I do, but not right now. I don't have the energy to say it right now. So, another strange thing about this sort of exploring is that I don't have my map on. So since I don't have my map on, oh yeah, here I am. I found it. Okay, so I was looking for this rail trail. So we're almost here. So at some point in the past, this was an active railroad, and now it's a trail. And I think I read that the trail opened in 2010. So who knows how long ago it's been since it was used as a railroad. I thought that it would be absolutely packed because this is the first really warm spring weekend. And it is usually packed when I go to the parking lots. But I just was explaining, I didn't want to enter the trail at the parking lot because I don't have the stamina to go very far. So I enter at different points so that I can see more of it. So yeah, at some point in the past on a stream, I came to this corner. And now, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that little garage. It's like an outdoor. From the outside, you'd think it was a building, but it's just a roof. Okay, so on a previous stream, I walked to that point and decided I was tired and had to turn around. This stream, then I did look at the map when I got home and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so close to being downtown. So I want to see how this trail empties out into the city and why it doesn't have a spur that goes off to where I parked my car, which is a park that has a path that goes over towards the library and stuff. Other than that, I don't have a lot to say, so I'll be quiet for a little bit. I woke up this morning super tired, and I started a stream early this morning, or early this morning, it was probably an hour ago, so it was after lunch, saying good days after bad day, or bad days after good days. I don't know if others who go through recovery, I'll just say, doesn't have to be from substance abuse. Anyway, um, maybe you can relate. Like, you have a good day, and you wake up the next day and you're extra tired. Um, and it may or may not be related to physical exertion. It might be emotional, mental. Uh, in the past, I'd say in the past, I'm sure I'm still doing it. But you commit to something, you're in this up, and you reach out and you have all these new ideas, and then no follow through because that period, that peak doesn't last. Learning to ride the waves of bad days after good days is kind of what today is about. I don't know how much I don't know if I should push myself, or I don't think I should. I mean, I'm a little bit pushing myself just being out here, but the weather's too gorgeous not to be out. But I'm definitely not going to walk too far. Now, so this looks cool. There's some sort of people meandering into a food place. The banner just says food. You'll see it as we get closer. I talked before, I'm not a fan of billboards on walking trails. But for one thing, it sets up, we have this idea, we're not permitted to have anything unless it's paid for by a corporation or, sponsored by somebody with money. Why can't we pool our own money together and make things for ourselves? Um, my goal is to produce calm content. Oh, I meant to show that. Oh, by the way, this would be my third day streaming with a gimbal, but West African food. It just opened yesterday. That means I know something that people who live here don't know. A lot of people who live here don't know about that place. I get to tell the few that I come into contact with about it. All because I want to do this trail. And I don't have the energy to do the whole thing, so I just do little portions. In one of the portions further out away from town, there's new development on either side of the trail that, and they'll have like paths coming in to the trail. So the trail is claimed, as an amenity to the development. It's like transit-oriented development or something like that. You see where things are built next to railroads. This is, in this case, you're building next to trails, rail trails, bicycle trails. I've also said before that I have mixed feelings. I love a trail. If this is the only way we can get one, okay. But by converting a railroad to a trail, it means it's never going to, well, I say never going to be a railroad again. Could be, the space is still here. But you're admitting railroads are done. And I would be a fan of more railroads. Way up there. Is that a mockingbird? My feeling is that it's a mockingbird because it's doing 75 different calls. Like, it seems like it's, the car alarm. There totally is a car alarm bird. I don't know if this is it. Also, mockingbirds are state birds of so many states, so I know that they're all over the US. So far, this is my favorite segment of the trail. You get to walk next to a little ditch creek. You go past a cool West African restaurant. And it definitely feels like a reclaiming of some neglected space that had been neglected. Okay, here we are. We're coming into town. Oh, dead bodies. Tweet. This is great. I love this part of the trail. Oh, a little community garden. It's like super neglected. There's only weeds in it. Let's go see what the sign on it says. I haven't done this in years. So many people hate that. My mom would say, "You're spreading weeds." They're cute. Well, what's going on, St. Paul? Oh, you don't seem to be using your community garden. I wonder how far away is your church? Oh, there's your church. Huh. Well, you named your church after St. Paul. That's not a good idea anyway. I question your values. Uh, oh, so over here's a railroad that's still a railroad. Oh yeah, we're about to meet up with that. What if the rail trail just ended suddenly and reverted back to railroad? No, they're not gonna do that. This is great. This is great. Oh, we gotta look in there. This does not seem like it should be wide open. It's making me think about the fact that, oh yes, I'm gonna bring this into current events. When supply chains change, they usually don't come back. I just heard some news that we have fewer migrant workers picking crops, and that was a very abrupt change with administration. And instead of suddenly lots of people like me or anyone rushing to replace former those jobs that need to be done and were formerly done by migrant workers, people who aren't from here, who were willing to do backbreaking labor in the sun. Not a lot of people who are from here are willing to do it, supposedly. I mean, whatever. This will be a fun art toy. Anyway, we are now importing more fruits and vegetables from Mexico than ever before. Oh, I thought it might spin, but no, it's solid. Cool. I will say this town has a lot of just real random and abstract sculptures. And for all the things I don't love about this town, I do love that. I think it's a reflection of the fact that they've got lots of unused space. So they just throw art up in it. So if we're not getting our crops picked here in the US, things that we can grow here, do grow here, used to grow here, used to get from here, and we're now getting more and more of that from Mexico, where the workers live, that means that's a disruption. We getting more from Mexico means that the people who used to get it from Mexico are going to have to get it from somewhere else. The place that like northern Mexico is suffering a drought, has been for a long time. Part of it's related to the US, diverting water like the Colorado River. But so we may not be able to get the same amount out of the land in Mexico that we get out of the land in the US with our. Then there are other countries, Brazil, and I mean, we're causing a domino effect that's affecting the rest of the world by trade policies that have not been, and immigration policies that have not been super thought out and have been implemented abruptly. People can adjust, but usually not so fast. Why is this a beacon of hope for all to see? It looks like a smokestack of disuse to me. Is the hope that we're not polluting the air with smoke anymore? No more industry means better air? We do have better air in the US ever since we have outsourced most everything. Oh, and then we can get names on it. We can get people to pay. Yay! But for what? Who knows? It's a beacon of hope for all to see. I'm sure there's a long write up about it. No, wait, I've been in this park before. I think, but I haven't been on this side. Oh, there's motorized white people in like rugged golf carts. I bet are they gonna get on the are they gonna get on the trail that says no motorized vehicles? Don't know. Where are they going? Um, they sure are. So in other parts of the trail, like I told you, it goes out to suburbia, which I'm just saying they look like they live in suburbia. This is not. Sometimes white people stand out. I stand out. This is not white people neighborhood. Um, Further out in the suburban part of that trail, it says it gives explanations of which motorized vehicles are allowed, and you have to have a permit and do this and that, and you have to stop for walkers and bikers. Mississippi Juke Band, Roots of Rock and Roll. Okay, well, the fact that there are current cars on this track, but they're just sitting there, gives two pieces of information. I could go stand on it and not worry about getting hit by a fast moving train, but at some point, they'll come back for 'em. I guess. Or maybe, maybe because of abrupt shifts in supply chains, maybe this is the last time, oh, that bird was so blue. You know, when we see things that are rotting away and we're just used to living in a post-industrial US, at some point, someday was the last day they were used. Like, I believe that the railroad will be back for those cars because the railroad has a lot of money currently, but they might have more cars than they need. And this might be the last day they ever. uh, Oh, it got something in his mouth. Oh, I wish I had a better camera for you, for me. Bye bye. So the path, I guess you might have noticed, the path I was on just turned into a sidewalk next to a road. There's was no signage. No, uh, I guess I shot the sign that was like the beginning of the path where those motorized vehicles went. Um, if I had to guess, not knowing them, I'd say, oh, they're drunk driving from the from the uh, brewery that is in an old warehouse over there. This is just based on my knowledge of white suburbians in golf carts. I wouldn't swear that that's what they were doing, but it's safer than getting in a car. But still, they got to cross a lot of streets. So here we go. So now I'm kind of on a spur that didn't have any identification, that just started at that road. Where does this go? I don't know, but I'm going to have to turn around soon because I'm getting tired. So I'm going to walk to this sign, and in the future, I'll come back and start my journey here. Lassi. Oh, and the next time I should have my gimbal. Oh, look at that old car. Like, it's easier to look at that and say that car will probably never move. That's a pretty good guess. Now, these will probably be put to productive use again. But if it's in the financial best interests of this, whoever owns them and this track, not to use them, then they'll just leave them here. And someday they'll be rusting away. And it'll be like, remember when that spur that came into town used to be used? Well, I guess we could turn it into a rail trail. Uh, we don't have the perspective to look back on the time that we're living in. All right, this is Lossy Glen Recreational Complex. So, oh yeah, I parked in that parking lot over there near the Trumpeters, and I walked through this once. So next time, I'll start this trail here. And it might not go very much further, but I'll have learned a little bit more in my mental map of this town. It's really confusing because there's lots of diagonals, and I have to drive to get to where I walk. It's confusing. I'm confusing. Now, here's something fun. I want to get to the rail trail. I'm going to walk along the railroad because I know that no one's going to use it anytime soon because of those stationary cars. So this should link up to the one that I was on before, or at least get close enough to it, right? So this should be the fastest way for me to get back to the other trail instead of going on the roads. Railroad ties making you dizzy. Oh yeah. So I would have my gimbal, except 2-day delivery with FedEx actually means 6 days when FedEx mishandles toxic chemicals, which is what happened in Memphis while my package was there. So my package got abandoned, and I don't know what happened to it exactly, but it got diverted, slowed down. All right, I want to get over there. I hear railroad, right? But okay, there's a big ditch. I didn't plan for that. Looks like I can get across it up there. No, I'm not going to trust it. I'll go back to the road. The world, our world is suited for cars, not human legs. If I were younger, I could jump over that. This is my. Ooh, this is the creek that stinks. So that's some feedback there. Something's wrong with this water. Okay, so here we go. Bike route North Main Street. That's how you know that this is the beginning of the Longleaf Trace connection to downtown. And I suppose this sculpture is somewhat, oh boy, that water stinks. This sculpture is a celebration at the entrance. This big civic project. We're just going to leave all that abandoned and disused, but we're going to put that in there. You know, it's rusty, so it's like an artifact of the industrial age. I mean, personally, I would go for colorful as a way of saying we're making something new out of the ruins, but they're going for, don't forget, we come from industrial ruins. It's really impossible to forget. Okay, so this is a spur of the Longleaf Trace that comes into downtown Hattiesburg. Here's something colorful. That was a white man, so I just looked away. If it had been a black man, I would have nodded my head. Actually, that's not true. At the last second, I sort of nodded my head, but he didn't. So I know that's not white people culture. We like anonymity, no connection. Okay. Tomorrow, FedEx willing, I'll have my gimbal. Do I have a different thought about this ditch creek now that I've smelled? I mean, it's full of garbage. This is Mississippi, USA. I have theories about garbage, litter. The tone is set. The values are set from the top. No respect for the land is baked in. If this were a tourist area and picking up, cleaning the environment had a financial benefit, then it would be clean. But you're not going to do anything that doesn't make money. That's a waste of time. Oh, well, what about the people who throw the trash away? Why do they do that? Well, I don't know. This part of the trail is narrow. It gets much wider. On this part of the trail, I do feel natural walking on the far right edge. And that man said, to your left or on your left as he came up. On your left. To your left. I'd be like, what? You want me to turn to my left? Boom. I like the look of those windows. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them. Now I wish I were back at my car because I'm tired. Instead of taking the trail, I might take the direct path because I parked a few blocks away. And if I can figure that out, then I've triangulated and I've learned stuff. So, but I don't think that there's a sidewalk. We'll see. Oh, I've had a conversation about garbage in the US. So now I'm on a big road and I walk opposite traffic. These things turn into these, right? That's how it works. It's fun. Trust me, it's fun. These are called azaleas. I have this new theory. I used to hate them because they threatened my manhood. And then I decided that I liked color and manhood didn't matter. That's cool. Oh, I'll take a picture so Siri can tell me what it is. This is a cool, I don't know, redevelopment, but doesn't seem to be. I mean, it looks like it maybe had a lot of money put into it with no plan. And the West African restaurant behind it is just in a much more economical looking structure and it's functioning. Well, I'm tired, but let's go look while we're here. It looks like it's got a counter and, could be cool. Outdoor seating. Place your bets. Did it open as something and fail, or did it never make it past the development stage? Oh, it's got these so it's got these lights for tables against the window. Yeah, I would say it never opened. The rusted chain. It failed a long time ago. Oh, an outdoor covered deck area. So if I lived in this town, this is the kind of building I'd crave. There was a website, wasn't there? Does it say jambajollof.co? Yeah, I could go over there and look and take a picture of it, but I'm tired. My car's not that direction. Are these olives? Plumeria? How do you feel when people are yelling in public? It depends on the yelling, right? If it sounds happy, it's like, oh, that's nice. But that doesn't sound happy. How you doing? Good. Oh yeah, I passed this before because I was like, art studio. Are these things actually in use? So I guess if I were an artist, mslatinxart.com. I guess if I were an artist, I would know these people. Good things are born here. I used to live in the local art world where I came from, and I reached a point where I no longer felt rejuvenated by it, but more depressed by it. I don't know what this is all about. Future Farmers of America. Oh, I don't believe in future anything of America, but America I do. Okay. So over there is the sign about the beginning of the trail. I'm only saving that much energy by walking on this street. That I like the trail, but I'm tired, and my car is this way, and I don't have the energy to take the trail very far. And I always kind of overdo it because here's the happy speeders on there. I'm glad I'm not over there having to dodge the electric vehicles on the path that says no electric vehicles. No, it says no motorized vehicles. Is that a difference? I don't think so. Here's a butchered tree for power lines. I can remember a Swiss friend talking about how, they can't believe that we have power lines because it looks very third world, that they should be buried. It's just like, yeah, just, yes, uh-huh. But also, that person was a complete snob who took no accountability for Europe's role in how fucked up the US is. Boy, I am just not pleasant to be around, am I? I'm looking to get out. I don't want everything I look at to be a reminder of the bad values. Okay, if I turn left, I'll get closer to my car and I'll be in the shade. Plus, plus. And now I've learned how the paths intersect. And I wish that they were more connected. Here's an upside down US flag. I could not agree more. These are camellias, which are just really beautiful. They look like roses. They bloom in winter. I don't think they have any smell. Take time to stop and tell the roses hi and thank you. You tell them things, you don't smell them because they don't have smells. Oh, I love a magnolia tree. These are the kinds of trees that I climbed as a kid. You can see how climbable it is. Camellias are cool. I didn't know until over the garden wall that camellias are where tea come from. Tea comes from camellias. Here's some clover weed, beautiful. My mom would hate it. I love it. They do attract a lot of bumblebees, cloverweed. Here's an agave in the front yard. This is a cool house. They've got camellias, agave, whatever this is going to be. What is this? I'll take a screenshot. Maybe Siri will know. If I had to guess, well, one of my guesses would be crepe myrtle. What would another guess be? Like a weeping willow or weeping something that blooms? Okay, down here is another creaky creek, and that's what my car is parked in a park next to that. So this is like the area where I would want to live based on just feeling. It's between two trails next to a creek, has some parks, but it's, you know, not economically thriving, which is also one of the reasons I'm sure that I like it. One reason that I want to move is I can't achieve success within a system that I despise. I'm not willing to take the steps on it. Every time I have a choice, I look at it and I think, oh, but bad choices produce income. Good choices do not. No wonder. And you know, and we're constantly going, why are rich people so evil? Okay, I'm gonna go down and stomp around in this empty lot. My car is a couple blocks away. I might regret this, but if I get trapped. Yeah, I think now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to walk through somebody's yard to get to my car if I go this way. So bad idea, but it looks nice. I suppose if I'm picking out real estate, this is about where I'd want to live. It's just that it's all garbage. All The woods and creeks are filled with garbage in Mississippi. It's very sad. I want to move to Mexico, and it is not clean. It's no Switzerland. But it doesn't have that snobbishness that I couldn't stand in my Swiss friend. My Swiss friend who threw out trash in Miami Beach. And I said, "What are you doing littering?" And he goes, "Look around. My small contribution doesn't make a difference." And I'm like, "You wouldn't do that in your country." "No, because my country's clean." I mean, what an asshole, right? This was my friend. So, he was an acquaintance. It was a friendship of convenience. So, why Mexico if I care so much about litter? Um, and Mexico does have litter. It's more than made up for by other things. Happy people everywhere. Good culture, happy culture within walking distance everywhere. And if I care about litter, maybe I'll make picking up litter one of my things. If I move somewhere new, I'll be naive, and then I won't know that the rules are stacked against me. So I'll think I can make a difference. Whereas here, I know that there's a lot of money lined up to keep things bad. Probably true everywhere, but I'll be a different person in a different place. But what about whatever you go there you are? Well, I feel different here than I did at my house. Extremes aren't the answer. It's always something in between. Okay, I'm done. I'm tired. Even when I think I'm going to take a short walk, it ends up being an hour. So this is what I did to my body today, trying to keep it moving, keep it warm, even though I woke up super, super, super worn out. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm committed to doing this because I'm providing alternative programming to, oh my God. Whoops. I didn't even see that when I got out of the car. How close was I to falling in it? That is crazy. That needs to be reported, huh? Is one of many unsafe things I've seen on my trippy. I was thinking about reading a snippet from the library books that I'm returning, but I already did that, so